Okay, let's just jump right in. Imagine you're standing at your front door. You reach into your pocket to get your keys, but your hands are empty. You look around, you're feeling a little bit worried, and you say, "Where are my keys? I have lost them." This is such a common situation, right? But I want you to notice something. Notice the words "have lost." Why do we say it exactly that way? Why not just say, "I lost them"?
Well, this is exactly why. We're using a really special English grammar tense here, called the present perfect. The present perfect means a past action has a present result. It acts just like a bridge. It links something that happened in the past straight to right now, in the present. Think about it. You lost your keys in the past. Maybe 5 minutes ago, maybe an hour ago. We actually don't care exactly when. What is the result right now? The result is you can't open your door today. So that past action is still true right now.
So the absolutely crucial point here is how we build this grammar bridge. Here's the basic formula. We take our subject, we add the helper verb have or has, and then we add our main verb in its special third form. We call this third form the past participle. Now notice how for the subjects I, you, we, and they, we always use the helper verb have. But for those third-person subjects like he, she, and it, we absolutely must use has.
But be careful. Here is a really common mistake a lot of beginners make when they're first learning this tense. You might see a sentence like, "He have won the prize." Now, this is incorrect. Because the subject is he, we just can't use have. The correct way to say it is, "He has won the prize." You always want to remember to match your helper verb to your subject. He, she, and it must take has.
Now what about that main verb, the past participle? Well, regular verbs are actually very easy. You just add the letters ed at the very end of the word, exactly like you do in the past simple. So the verb play becomes played, walk becomes walked. Super simple, right? But irregular verbs are a bit different. They don't follow that rule. They change completely. Eat becomes eaten, go becomes gone. For these, you just have to practice and memorize the special irregular forms over time. Don't worry, you'll get used to them.
Okay, great, you just learned the formula. Now let's try a quick quiz together. What is the correct form to finish this sentence? We blank to London. Is it option A, has been, or option B, have been? Go ahead and say your answer out loud right now. I'm going to give you a few seconds to think. 1, 2, 3.
Did you say B? The correct answer is definitely B. We have been to London. Fantastic job if you got that one right. Remember the rule we just talked about? The subject we always pairs with the helper verb have, not has. You're doing right. So, now that you know this formula, let's look at how we use it to talk about your life. We very often use the present perfect to talk about our life experiences. And when we do this, we really love to use the words ever and never. These words simply mean at any time in your life from the day you were born up until right now. Let's look at a few real-life examples using these words. If you want to ask a friend a question about a life experience, you can ask, "Have you ever visited Spain?" If you want to make a negative sentence about something you haven't experienced yet, you can say, "I have never eaten sushi." And if you just want to make a basic affirmative sentence, you simply say, "I have visited Spain." All of these sentences are talking about your whole life experience right up to today. But here's another very common mistake that English learners make, so pay close attention. You might hear someone say, "Have you ever fly first class?" This is incorrect. Do you know why? Because fly is just the basic normal verb. We need the past participle. The correct way to ask this is, "Have you ever flown first class?" Always remember to use that special third verb form when you're making these sentences. Now it's your turn to try. Can you spot the mistake in this sentence? Did you ever eat in there? Take a few seconds and try to fix it out loud for me. Did you find the mistake? The correct question is, have you ever eaten there? Because we're talking about your life experience up to right now, we absolutely must use our helper verb have. We cannot use did. The word did is only used for an action in the past that is completely 100% finished. And that perfectly brings us to our next big rule, unfinished time. We use the present perfect for a period of time that is not over yet. Think of words like today, this week, or this year. This week is not finished yet, right? There are still more days left in the week, so the time is still happening. Let's imagine a timeline to really understand these continuing actions. Imagine you moved into a brand new house in the year 2012. You still lived in that same house in 2020. And look at that, you still live there today, right now in 2026. In English, you would say, "I have lived here since 2012."
The action started in the past, but it isn't finished. It continues today.
When we talk about this kind of continuing time, we use two very important words, since and for. We use since when we want to talk about a specific starting point in time. For example, since January or since 2015. But we use the word for when we want to talk about a length of time. For example, for 3 months or for 5 years.
Now, here is a very, very important mistake you must avoid. Look at this sentence. We have visited them yesterday. This is absolutely incorrect. Why? Because the word yesterday is a finished time. Yesterday is completely over and done with. You can never use the present perfect tense with finished time words. If the time is finished, you just use the past simple. So the correct way is simply, we visited them yesterday.
Time for another quick quiz. Fill in the blank for me. She has worked here blank 3 months. Do we need the word since or for? Pause the explainer for a second and take a guess.
The correct answer is for. She has worked here for 3 months. Because the words 3 months talk about a length of time, we must use the word for. If the sentence said January, well then we would use since. You're doing amazing. Keep it up.
Okay, let's move on to our next rule and see how this tense works for very recent actions. We often use the small words just, already, and yet with the present perfect. We use these for things that happened a very short time ago, but they give us a really strong result right now.
Let's look at some everyday examples of these recent actions. Here's an affirmative sentence. I have just eaten lunch. So what's the result? The result is that I'm not hungry right now. Another affirmative sentence. They have already fixed the car. The result there is that you can drive it to the store right now. And here's a negative example, or something you'd use with a question word. The pizza has not arrived yet. The result is you're still waiting for your food.
Just before we finish up, please look at this one last, very common mistake. You might see someone write, she been to Paris. This is incorrect. Students often write the subject and the past participle, but they completely forget the helper verb. The correct sentence is, she has been to Paris. You must always include has or have. Never forget your helping verb.
Wow, we covered so much great information in this explainer today. Let's do a really quick and simple recap. The present perfect is a bridge that connects the past to the present. The formula is your subject plus have or has plus the past participle. Remember, never use this tense with finished time words like yesterday or last year. And finally, it's a fantastic tense for talking about your amazing life experiences.
Here is your final challenge to test what you've learned today. How do we make this question correct? Blank, you do your homework. Think about our formula. Go ahead and say the full sentence out loud for me.
The correct answer is, have you done your homework? Fantastic job. You use the correct helper verb for the subject you, which is have, and you use the correct irregular past participle for the verb do, which is done. You should be very proud of yourself. You've definitely leveled up your English grammar today. Now it's time to actually use what you just learned in the real world. What is a food you have never eaten? I want you to practice the present perfect tense right now by typing your full answer in the comments below. Tell me all about your life experience. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. You did a wonderful job today, and keep practicing your English.